Reset button.
And we're back, the reset button, episode 16. It is sweet 16, not the Olsen twins game, but it is our 16th episode. Once again, Tannen, my man, welcome back. We are in-house doing this live.
Yeah.
Not via satellite shit.
Actually back in the, what I was going to end up being the booth room. It's still in production, but so far so good right now.
Yeah, it's doing what it needs to do for us right now. But we have a special guest today. Before we get into any of that, though, follow me on Twitter real quick, at the Hibiki TMD. Check out the Slam Pigs podcast also. And Tannen, where can everyone check you out on Twitter?
At O'Tannen's Bum.
Nailed it. You got it. I'm so damn proud I could burst. And there she is, guys. For the first time ever appearing on anything on Hibiki TMD, welcome to the reset button. Arbitrarium, how are you, my dear? Thank you for doing the show. How was everything in your end of the globe?
I think it's pretty great. I mean, I don't really know since I don't really surface from my computer very much, but seeing how, nothing's blown up recently, I think we're good. I think we're good over here.
There you have it. And Arby, real quick, where can everyone check you out on Twitter, all that good shit?
I'm Arbitrarium, LOL, and if you can't spell my name, that's okay. Nobody can. Because I used to be a really bad League of Legends player, so that's why there's an LOL on the end.
Yeah, there you have it. Now, Tannen, we're not talking Zelda for once this week. Well, we will for a little bit, because today kind of falls on an anniversary of Zelda. But...
Well, I'm in the chat, so we're definitely talking about Zelda.
Yeah, I was going to say, but Arbitrarium also has picked up Breath of the Wild. I'm the only one on the show that has not played a good amount of it. Arbitrarium, real quick, not to go full force on it, what's your 2 cents on what you played of Breath of the Wild?
I think it's 100% as advertised. A lot of people have had some minor complaints, but separate from the Switch, the game is actually just very pretty. And I love the whole exploration focus because you don't have to do the story straight up. You can do a lot of open world stuff. It really stayed true to the Zelda franchise, and I think tells a story that is stronger in a lot of ways than many of the previous Zelda stories. So I liked it.
And you can jump. You can fucking jump.
Yeah. Woo!
Yeah. Tannen, I know you're a busy man with work and whatnot. You don't got too many shrines, but you have played a shitload more since we've last recorded. You still loving it, man?
Oh yeah, and I think I'm mainly trying to unlock the map. For some odd reason, I just feel compelled to do that before everything else. I've gone to towers that I really shouldn't have been screwing around at. Almost died climbing them. Because there was the one that's like guarded by these flying guardian drones, and I shouldn't have been there. But I did it.
I absolutely did not do that. No, siree.
Oh yeah, no, I climbed it. I climbed it with I had one arrow that I got off of a traveler that can kill a guardian, and I used it on the last drone that I had to get past, and then I had to climb the tower. It's I can't even remember how to pronounce it, like the Akala Tower or something like that. But it's all covered in that purple shit.
Oh
that,
yeah.
Like, kills you essentially.
Like
so,
Ivan Ooze, like that.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
nice.
and it's had to crawl past all that crap, and then I got to the top and was like, I can't believe I just did this, and unlocked the northeast part of the map. And I'm compelled to, I don't know why, unlock the map, and I have not. I just started traveling west finally. I really am doing this ass backwards. But
that's what's beautiful about it. At your own
yeah.
pace, any fucking way you want, just like the original.
Yeah,
you know,
however I want to do it. But
and Link to the Past is probably still my favorite Zelda game, but in a way, it was pretty much linear compared to the first Zelda in this. In a way.
Yeah, I don't know. The first Zelda was always my favorite. Like I went back sometimes until my Nintendo finally died. I would go back and play it before the next ones came out. I'd still love it.
I gotta say though, like the older I get, like I'm not gonna bullshit you, Link's Awakening is moving up the list. Like every time I play that game, I fall in love with it even more than I did the last time.
That is a good one.
I think it's because of the feather, because I just love jumping. But since we're touching on Zelda real quick, today is the 31st birthday, anniversary, whatever, of The Legend of Zelda. Happy birthday,
Happy
Zelda.
birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
And Zelda is
Happy
the girl.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to Zelda. Happy birthday to you.
That was beautiful.
That was melodic harmony. Yeah, what can you say? We talk about it on almost every episode. Legend of Zelda, what it did for gaming, the introduction of a battery backup save for the most part, just so many things. This franchise is one of those where it's held so near and dear, like they're literally walking on glass with every release, not because they're gonna just piss so many fanboys off. But Tannen, I mean, what has Zelda done for like just your gaming taste in general when you first got introduced to it as a kid? I know we've talked about it before, but kind of in a nutshell, like
It taught me how to read.
I thought LeVar Burton did.
No, he just told me about some good books to read.
Yeah. Here's a good book. I ain't gonna read it to you though, you little shit. I don't got time.
No, but as far as what has the Zelda series done for me, definitely as far as that like action adventure RPG kind of stuff goes, it always brings me back with every title and almost every generation. You know, that minus the Wii. I don't like Skyward Sword. I've stressed that a lot, but
And the superior Twilight Princess is on the GameCube. Let's be real.
yeah. Actually, no, Twilight Princess on the Wii U was really good, but
Well, I mean, compared to the Wii, the original, not the remounts.
But what has it done for me? I don't know, a lot of things. It definitely sets the bar for a lot of games that I will then later play. You know, like I hate sometimes comparing games, you know, as an experience, but it definitely does set a bar for me a lot, especially in that kind of medieval swords and shields type setting.
Yeah.
You know, just as far as that
Fantasy,
goes.
yeah. Arby, in your opinion, when do you think the franchise took a step back for the first time? And besides 2, because I don't think we can really say 2 because there was only one game before that. But the Zelda game that came out where everyone was like, "What the fuck is this?" Because in my opinion, it would have to be when Wind Waker came out.
Okay, I was going close to that. So I will admit that I think before we started, we were talking about there was a period in my life where I started college pretty early, and so I missed a lot of what happened because I was so overwhelmed. But I will say that for me, it was the Wii games. Like some of those like first Wii games were like horrible. Like they were it was difficult to play because the Wii doesn't do what it's supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. The storytelling was off. It didn't feel the way that it didn't like mesh in with a lot of the other ones. I know that there are probably people who disagree with me, but that was for me. It just made the gameplay was difficult, and it made a relatively difficult game even harder, and it was unnecessary. And I hate senseless things; it just irritates me. So that was my thoughts.
I don't know if I prefer doing this via satellite because you've accidentally touched me like 5 times, and I'm getting sick of it. Can you stay out of my fucking bubble? No, you just poked me more. I knew it was gonna happen. I think I would, and I totally agree with you, Arby. I think I say Wind Waker though, and I love Wind Waker, and I gave it a shot even then. Like I didn't hate on the graphics. I'm not gonna lie, I liked the cartoon.
No, I tried really hard too.
I think that's the first time I think all the fans collectively are like, we're not jumping on board this, and you know, of course, once they did, they fucking loved it. But
yeah,
maybe you can say Majora's Mask. They were kind of like, what the fuck?
I liked Majora's Mask. Yeah. You know, that really wasn't a what the fuck, like, because it kind of took that. It still felt like, you know, Ocarina of Time, but just in a different setting and a different kind of pacing. Yeah. You know, you had 3 days to complete whatever task before the moon crashed into the world, and you had to start all over again. And I'm a big fan of Groundhog Day, so
yeah.
I actually love
those games. For example, more recently, Final Fantasy 13. I think is it the third one, where you have a time limit, and it just stressed me out. I couldn't play it. I was like, no, I'm not gonna be able to do it in time. I'm not gonna be able to do it in time. I actually gave up trying and watched someone else play. And then afterwards, they're like, oh, you have all the time you need. Once it's all over, you can do whatever you want. And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I think the first iteration of Final Fantasy 13 was where I drew the line. I was good. I didn't need any more. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people who has to check every corner and break every pot. So any game that puts a time limit like doesn't let you do that, and I do not like that at all.
I think Majora's Mask, in a way, was a hell of a lot more lenient as far as, I mean, you did have it, but you didn't really have a fucking, like, it didn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
could always, more smoke and mirrors.
And you could always go back
yeah.
and just, you know, you knew where that pot was going to be when you went back, and you knew, like, where you could get, like, a lot of rubies to continue dating. Just like, you know, Bill Murray in Groundhog's Day when he would rob the guys of the armored truck.
You know.
inevitably make them lose their jobs on a daily basis.
Pretty much. Well, what can you say about Zelda? I mean, if Breath of the Wild is any indication of where it's going in the future, I think it's nothing but positives, honestly. And I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was one of those guys like, really, they're going Western RPG with it? How uninspired? I'm like, because I love like Zelda games. I always thought Zelda games like their own thing. Like you solve some puzzles. It's kind of linear, kind of open ended, but at the end of the day, it felt like a Zelda game. I was like worried this wouldn't feel like a Zelda game, but it totally does.
Yeah, this feels
Like,
more like a Zelda game than a Zelda game.
So,
A Zelda game in a long time.
mark it down. I'm admitting I was wrong about something. But there's
Travis.
also another anniversary happened in the past week. A super popular franchise. I would say as popular as Zelda almost. Final Fantasy, guys, celebrated its 30th anniversary. We all know the good and the bad and the ugly of the Final Fantasy series. There's no reason to, which ones suck. I mean, Arby, you could like 8. I mean, who knows? But we fucking hate it.
That's okay. I tried to do a playthrough on my stream a while back, and I loved 7, and I know that that's super like mainstream and so extra, but I do love 7. It was the one my mom and I played together, so I think it has more of that kind of attachment for me. And I played it, and the whole time all they did was complain about how 8 was better than 7, and I was like, shut up!
Silly people. I do got to say I bought 7 on PS4, and it's the first time I played it in almost a decade, so I'm fully addicted again.
Oh yeah.
Now, unlike the Zelda conversation, like, where do you think they took a step back? My question to you guys is this. You know how, little silly American kids in the 90s, we thought, like, 5 was 2 and 6 was 3.
Yeah.
Do you guys think if we had gotten all those iterations that they only got in Japan, like, it would have been as popular in America, or do you think it would have added to it? Do you think it would have killed it? Like, what do you think?
I think it would have added to it, honestly. Like, there's a lot of...
Because 3 sucks because of the job system.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as far as... the one with the dragons was good. Which one was that? That was 4?
That was 4, I think, yeah.
4 was pretty good, and we didn't get that. I didn't get it until it came out on PS1 and on those remasters. 6, and I love 6/3 on the SNES.
It's my favorite, the whole thing.
But it was still a good. 5 was still a really, really good game. Like I don't understand why we had to skip over that one.
Yeah.
But that's how Japan treats us as kids. No, they can't have that.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're not gonna get the real Mario 2.
What was the fucking?
It's too hard.
What was the Final Fantasy for Super Nintendo that was dumbed down just for Americans? It was terrible.
Really? This is the first time hearing about that.
Quest, Mystical Quest.
Mystic Quest.
Oh,
Mystic
right.
Game
Yes.
fucking
Okay.
sucks.
It was very dumbed down.
Final Fantasy for fucking babies. Like that's pretty much
It
what
is.
it is.
Have you played that new chibi one? World of Final Fantasy?
I have not, but I've heard. Good
It's
things.
actually super adorable. I was like, I don't know, but I think it came with my PS4 because I bought a new one and I got the Uncharted one, and then it threw in this random game with it. I think that's how I got it. And we were opening it, we started playing it together. And we're like, ooh, this is actually really good. Like the system is really neat, and so is the story. And I'm like, I'm not usually a fan of like chibi iterations of games, but I really like it. It's pretty great.
Speaking of like cutesy spin-offs, I actually want to check out Dragon Quest Builders, just basically for my kids, because I heard it's like Dragon Quest meets Minecraft, so it sounds cool. I know that's off topic. What do you guys?
I mean, it's not off topic. It's a video game.
What's your favorite in the whole series? Final Fantasy Arbitrarium.
Oh, it's still 7, and it's like I said, it's primarily because...
Oh, you said that. I'm an idiot. My bad.
It's okay, but I didn't really tell you the story. So my mom, I had told you before we played about how I got initially the Final Fantasy and Zelda series that started, but my mom was the nerd in my family. We're a bunch of girls, and I didn't know that boys played video games till I was a teenager. So, but that was the one that my mom actually like sat down and played with me. She was always busy. She worked outside of the home, and I think that it was our bonding over it. We both cried when Eris died, and how like we kind of bonded over that game. Oh, my bad. Sorry, dude.
No, I'm
but
kidding.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody knows.
Yeah, that's
I should hope
like
by
not
now
new.
you know
What,
that.
Darth isn't Luke's father?
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
So I think that's why it's more of an emotional attachment to like the memories that the game had for me than the game itself. But I still really think it's a great story, and of course everybody loves Cloud and Zack, so why wouldn't you?
And Barrett. Don't leave the man out of the equation.
Fine, Barrett and Tifa. I mean,
Barrett.
who didn't want to watch that gameplay?
Barrett's just a hardworking man doing it for his kids' college tuition, man. Can't hate on Barrett.
Do football lean.
Tannen, what's your favorite Final Fantasy? I don't even know the answer to this.
I mean, dude, it's a tough pick.
I know,
Like, it's
it
kind
is.
of, for my number one, it's kind of a tie between 6 and 7. I mean, 7 made that jump to 3D, and I had loved 6. before I got, or 3, if you want to call it that, before it actually came out, later on down the line, I had played that quite a bit, and then 7 came out, and I actually got a PS1 strictly for 7 when that came out.
It's a good reason to get one.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tie between those two, and then I really liked 9.
9,
9 holds a big, big part of my heart. I don't know why.
I think it's the most underrated in the whole series because it's so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually haven't played that one yet, so don't spoil it because I really have planned to play it for like.
Oh, you need to, because it is really good. It was definitely a breath of fresh air after the atrocity that 8 was, which I played 8 from beginning to end when it came out, and oh God, footsteps. They'll just be in my mind forever.
And I'm pretty sure they knew what they did when they released 8. That's why they made 9 so much better.
They're like, we're sorry.
Let's get back to the roots.
We're sorry for this 3-disc cock tease that you've been playing that means nothing. Like, what the fuck? For me, 6 is my favorite. I don't know. I'm purist, old school.
It's one of the first Final Fantasies where you get characters that die.
Yeah, I mean, it did have that.
Like, before the whole Ares thing, you had characters that you cared about, and they die.
Yeah, I mean, a main character. I think a lot of younger gamers who were so accustomed to this, that was just unheard of back then.
It was.
Killing off a main character in any game. It really was.
And not only that, but in that game, it wasn't just it was 2 characters that die. And their children.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're gonna kill the kids.
Yeah. and the same age as we were at the time. Like we were all really young, so I think that added to it.
Yeah. Well, they sacrificed themselves for the betterment of, everybody else.
Imagine, playing Toe Jam and Earl and Toe Jam kicks the fucking bucket or something.
Yeah, or Toe Jam decides to kill himself to better Earl's life.
Or you find out he has kids and Earl kills them all. Or I don't fucking know. He eats them. But yeah, it's Final Fantasy. I haven't played 15, Tannen. I know you have rented it. Arby, I don't know if you have 15 or not.
15? I do have 15. I am not nearly as far through as I should be because life, but I love it.
Yeah, a lot of people are kind of shitting on the battle system. I don't have a problem with where they went with it. I prefer that as opposed, especially where I'm at in my life for time constraints, as opposed to a grindy turn-based RPG.
Yeah.
As I said, it just took forever to actually get into the real game of that one. That was the thing that pissed me off because I was renting it, so I had to. So
I bought it, but it was back during the winter when I was working 100-hour weeks at work, and so literally what would happen is I would come home and working 16 hours. I have 8 hours to sleep, eat, change your clothes, do all that stuff, and get back to work. And I was like, or I could spend 3 of them playing this video game. Yeah. So a part of it was really chopped up for me. I didn't have a chance to sit down and play for a period of time. But I haven't finished it, but I love the story, and I love the way that they transformed this whole quest into a modern questing. The road trip I thought was a pretty natural iteration of that, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Right on. I would have to, and we didn't bring this up, when Final Fantasy started turning into, and I think 10 totally jumped the shark with fucking cutscenes.
Oh God.
To go back and play 10, and I bought the remaster for PS4. I do like 10, but goddamn, I'm just begging to hear the battle theme at a certain point. Please, I'm so tired of watching a game.
I think that was through that phase though, where
everything was a movie.
Everything was a cutscene. I mean, look at Metal Gear Guns of the Patriots.
Oh,
holy shit.
I've never played that, but I've watched.
Yeah, that's all you got to do is watch it.
That's all you're gonna be doing. It's everyone's going to the Rapture. That's why I just didn't even give it a chance. Because when I heard about it, it was a fucking movie. What do I want to do that? Yeah.
There's a lot of games that have come out somewhat recently that I feel like you spend the whole thing sitting there waiting.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, I want to play now. Thank you.
At the end of the day, I think we're all in agreement. There's been a lot more positives to Final Fantasy than negatives, even though there have been a hell of a lot of negatives.
And they've tried the Chocobo's dungeon. Yeah, they've tried their offshoots.
We didn't mention the online forays they attempted, 14 and 11.
I never really got into those.
I didn't either.
Oh, I just say 14 was great. There was a lot of stuff that was really amazing about it. I actually was one of those poor people that pre-ordered it the first time they tried to
yeah.
What do you call it?
Yeah,
let it out, whatever, release it. And it was awful. You couldn't even figure out what you were supposed to do. It was so bad that I think I gave it a good 5 levels. I was really patient. And I'm you have no idea what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to go, or what you're supposed to be doing. And then they deleted my account. Square Enix, when they tried to like clean house, like to fix it, deleted the account. So I didn't even get any of the cool stuff that they gave the people who had initially done it because my account got deleted. I called them. They said, oh, it's not our problem. Call these people. I called them and said, oh, call those other people. We don't have anything to do with that. So finally, after going back and forth between the two of them, I just started a new account and missed out on everything. So I was pretty butthurt about that. Can you say that on YouTube? I hope you can. So yeah, I was really upset about it. And so I probably started that game out with a negative attitude, thinking it was going to be awful, and ended up really liking it. So
we'll see. And you know what? I like hearing stories about that. People that give a fucking game a chance and don't just shit on it out the gate. Mass Effect. And we're going to get to that later, guys. Let's get off Final Fantasy, but we were mentioning about Japanese exclusives, and I can't think of a better way to segue this little tidbit. Secret of Mana 3 was announced this week to finally, officially, not an emulator, none of that shit, coming over stateside on the Switch. Tannen, this is awesome. I can't.
That's big news. I mean, this is up there for me with the NES version of Earthbound. Whenever they released that, that was huge news too. Not a lot of people were into it, but you know, after you play so many Japanese translations of the game, and you can finally get your hands on an official thing, you know, that's a big jump. And I'm really liking that they're finally doing all of these games that we were deprived of years ago. And they're finally giving them to us after we, you know, played. I loved Secret of Mana and
Illusion of Gaia.
All those games were very, very, very huge. So it's definitely something I'm looking forward to. I love the battle system of Secret of Mana.
So.
Delving into that a lot more. Full Throttle Remastered. I don't know if either of you have ever played that gem of a PC Scum game. I loved that game as a child, and just like Day of the Tentacle, they are coming out with a remaster of Full Throttle. It is an awesome freaking game. I could not wait. Looks good, sounds great. Mark Hamill plays 3 different characters.
Wow.
It's going to be worth checking out.
I need to check that out. I never played it.
Yeah, I never did either, actually. So I think I watched someone else play it, or parts of it. But yeah, I'm excited.
It's even fun to watch somebody else play. Like that's just one of those games.
Say la vie. We're not going to get any happier because we got a game of the week, Tan, and that fucking sucks too.
Oh my god.
Usually, shout out to Scott on Facebook. We appreciate you, man. And I know Scott does like this game, so he meant well, Tannen. Sometimes
I guess his heart was in the right place.
Sometimes
what the fuck were you thinking?
Sometimes you just misfire. This game was for the Sega Master System. The game's Golvellius. It was also released on the MSX computer, so it was ported to the Sega Master System. Maybe that had something to do. Straight out the box, total Zelda clone wannabe. Tries to be.
Tries to be, and I wanted to give it a chance too because you know the Master System. I feel like this was the Master System Zelda.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yep, let's get into this. Let's see what it's like. You know, is it going to be kind of a Beyond Oasis type deal? Like, what are we getting into? No.
Beyond Oasis is passable at least.
Yeah, Beyond Oasis is good. I liked it. That's what I'm saying. This was not Beyond Oasis.
This was beyond. This was shit.
Beyond. Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, first of all, I think when the game fires up, the very first playing, it's like a side-scrolling action sequence, right? But it's the weirdest thing I've seen because you can't turn and look back. Like, if you push back, you know what? Do you remember? Like, you just moved back. Like, you can't face behind you. I'm showing footage right now, guys, on the video. You'll see what I'm talking about because it's hard to explain. But I think this game's biggest problem is it tried to be too many fucking things.
Too many things, and it couldn't get it right. It didn't have the battery saves, so that password system was just atrocious.
It's like the Declaration of Independence. If it was just glitches, that's every time you die, you got to put that fucker in. Like, and guys, I got to come clean. This is kind of like spur of the moment. So Arbitrarium didn't really get a chance to talk about the game of the week. I'm sure she's having fun listening to us bury it, but we have her on again, guys. I promise we'll keep her in the loop, and she'll be able to actually talk about a game of the week.
I mean, that's okay. I assume you guys probably try to know what you're talking about.
I know what
you don't need my opinion on it.
Like, the Sega Master System, for me, has so many untapped gems because I don't know a lot about the library. Yeah. So I'm always excited, in a way, to explore new games.
The port of Double Dragon onto that was pretty good.
It was good.
It was good. You know, you can't, you know, like, I don't know.
But this game, Golvellius, I think it came out, 89, 90, something like that. Maybe earlier. Don't quote me on that. Like I said, you start with some weird little pink-haired, purple-haired?
Something like that, yeah.
Green-haired?
Hey, don't be hating the pink hair.
He looks chibi. I'm just saying, he looks kind of chibi. Yeah, and it's straight up Zelda clone, man. Like, the hacking is off. Like, the hit detection's off. There is an overworld, which is making you think it's a lot bigger than it really is. But literally every, like, cave or whatever I go to, there's, like, one where it's, like, kind of like a shmup seek. Did you get to that part where you're in a cave? and it's like you're in a shooter where it's just continuous scrolling screen.
I just pretty much tried to explore the overworld as much as I could.
Yeah,
Until I was just like, that's it. Like,
there's no invincibility buffer when you get hit. It's just one clusterfuck after the next. Their heart and Scott's heart was in the right place. But thank you for the request, Scott.
Yeah, Scott. I mean,
we tried.
Hey, you know, and honestly, you wanted to give us that Zelda comparison experience. You did. It did open my eyes up to something where they tried on a different platform to do basically the same thing.
Yeah.
And they failed at it absolutely miserably.
But that was the era of, guinea pig type games.
Yeah. Well, especially with the Master System. There's a lot on the Master System that were guinea pig type games. And there's a lot on the Master System that you can find in the Game Gear's library.
Yeah.
So,
true.
Go figure.
Arbitrarium, do you have a lot of experience with Master System games back in the day, emulators, anything?
I actually did not. I had just the regular systems that other people had. I did not. I think Sega was the one that I skipped out on because it's the year that we moved. And so I think I played like Sonic, and that's it.
Well, I think Sonic was on the Master System, wasn't it? There was a Sonic game.
Pretty sure it was.
I think you were kind of like me, though. Like, the Master System when we were kids, it's like that one kid down the street had it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was just
There
about to say that. It was the year we moved away, and the girl down the street had one. And that's the only time I ever saw it.
I remember the game he had was Rocky, by the way. That was
really?
the first game I ever played on Master System. It's fucking awful.
I played some terrible helicopter game on it.
So, 1984? Or 19...
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Choplifter?
Yeah,
Which
it
saw like release on every fucking
It
port.
was just god awful though on that system. It was. Yeah.
I got to say the thing I hate the Master System for the most is the introduction of Alex Kidd. Burn in the pits of hell, Alex Kidd, you piece of shit. Like paper, rock, scissors.
He has some strong feelings about this, guys.
Maybe you like Alex Kidd. I don't know. Maybe I'm too hard on him. He's a piece of shit. Arby, I know usually when we have a guest on, we like to ask if they'd like to request us a game of the week to play for next week. I don't know if you'd like to do that. Usually we like to stick with more retro because it's more accessible for us. Like usually not like...
this on me. I could have been thinking about it the whole time.
Well,
oh,
you're the prodigy, so...
Retro games. I don't know.
I mean, I can pick because I have a good one.
What do you got?
Mr. Driller for the Game Boy Advance. You ever play that?
No.
I know that sounds a little lewd.
It sounds a little bit like maybe NSFW.
Mr. Driller it is.
I got a shout out to my friend on Twitter at Castle Zots for mentioning that game the other day, reminding it was a great puzzle game for the GBA. You're really gonna like this game, I promise. I'm not Scott. I wouldn't give you shit. Once again, we've reached the end of the road like boys to men. Arbitrarium, thank you so much for coming on the reset button. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for remembering me.
Inside joke. One more time, where can everyone check you out on Twitter, YouTube, all that good shit?
I'm just Arbitrarium on YouTube and Arbitrarium Lol on Twitter, and I really love this, you guys, so thank you so much for inviting me.
No problem. Welcome back anytime. My man. We did it once again.
Once again.
And our new little setup here, getting there.
Sweet 16 in the new room. Oh my goodness.
It's a lot better in your room than my basement.
It's a lot
At least
better.
you have a cardboard cutout Darth Maul looking at
Yeah, so you're peeping out from behind the bookshelf. Too.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lightsaber. Look at that.
Like, cut it off or it accidentally fell off.
That fell off.
I hate when that happens.
For myself, Arbitrarium, for Tannen, one more time, follow me on Twitter at the Hibiki TMD. Check out Tannen at OTannensBum. Check us out on Facebook. We never fucking plug our Facebook.
Yeah, we never plug the
Ever.
Facebook.
Watch it unfold. But yeah, that's all we got. Until next week, this is the reset button. Let's hit it.